So India pieced out with Pakistan, and Pakistan didn't get too much damage to it. It was actually the Saudis that took most of the war score hit, as well as we saw Brazil and Venezuela piece out over the break. So as I said, I mean, Pakistan only, I think, lost like one province here. I don't know. I mean, it was a smart move for India to kind of change their war goal, because I'm sure at first they just wanted to go after Pakistan, but that ended up changing quite drastically because they did a lot of damage to the Saudis, and in a really, really dark and twisted way, and it's probably totally not okay, but I did laugh at this. The Islamic State are back, and India was the cause of it. It's India... Oh my gosh, India released the Islamic State, and not only the Islamic State though. I mean, I'll give them that. They also released Kuwait. They allowed Turkey to grab these four provinces, Mosul as well, and as well as I think Qatar is back, and Bahrain. Yes. Wait a second. What wasn't one of those nations already here? No, I thought something was already here. Did they get, I don't know if it got destroyed somehow or whatever. I'm not sure. But yeah, so the Saudis definitely took a big hit to their power. The Islamic State is back. And yeah, I'm shocked that India did that. But, you know, I mean, obviously the AI has no idea. They're just trying to take as much power away from the Saudis as possible. Did India grab anything from that? Yes, they did. Also, Turkey also grabbed the former final province that Iran controlled. So there you go. The Saudis definitely lost a lot, but not too much. I mean, they could probably rebuild like India is rebuilding right now, but we'll see. The other big peace deal was Brazil, and they did exactly what I thought Mexico should have done. They took over half of Venezuela. So yeah, Brazil is looking good. What else is new? They are kind of big and back, and South America is more messed up than we've seen in a really long time. I'm going to go ahead and go to Speed 4 here and see what we can do, because there's no wars going on, but I really didn't want to continue on without showing you guys the peace deals, and I didn't want to wait for another war to pop up. But yeah, so this should be interesting. I'm glad that we can, I think, now that, you know, there's no wars, you guys know this, I think have the biggest issue with the performance. They cause the biggest sort of performance issues. Oh, boom, look at that. So Peru is about to actually take over a bunch of provinces, I'm thinking, from Argentina. So this should be even more messed up. But yeah, this is probably by far the most messed up South America we've ever seen. We've yet to see so far. Completely crazy. This is probably, I think, my favorite continent, because it's just so drastically... It's so drastic. We've got the southern part of South America. Well, I don't know why I almost say South Africa every single time. The southern half of South America just so messed up. So much border gore. It might get cleaned up a little bit with Peru here. Then we have Brazil, Mexico, you know, moving into the northern part of South America. Jesus, why do I keep saying that? And then yeah, Venezuela's not having a good time either. But we'll wait and see. Who is this? Okay, nothing happened with these islands. No changes with the islands. It does look like the Netherlands grabbed... Did they already have control over this island? I'm not 100%. We'll have to see. I was also double-checking on the Liberty Desire of the British West Indies. It's at 36%, so they still have a while before any sort of possible independence war pops up again for them. Again, the only way I think they'd be able to grab their independence is if the USA were to back them. And I thought they were. For a period of time, I could have swore the USA was backing the West Indies independence, but... Maybe not. Maybe I'm smoking crack. Who knows? So Poland is at war right now with the Balkan states, kind of. Not really. They're going after Ukraine, Ukraine and Slovakia. So I mean, really, that's the only point they can move to at this point, because Germany. Wait a second. Is this a vassal yet? Allied to... No, Latvia is no longer allied to Germany. They're allied to Ukraine. Which, why aren't they... Are they involved in the war? No. Huh, I guess they didn't get pulled in, or what? They didn't get called in? I don't know. They might eventually get called in. But yeah, this is really, for the Polish AI, the only move they can do. They can move south, and they can move a little bit north, but that's it. But they've got to be careful, because they don't want to go to war with the actual EU. Ukraine, Slovakia, this is... I mean, I guess they could go after Hungary after this, but that's really it. Poland's in such a tough situation. Really, really tough spot. Who are they allied to? Well, at least they're allied... Oh, they can't go to war with Hungary because they're allied to Hungary. They've got some okay alliances, allied to France. That's a start. That is a start. Okay, I'm gonna let it go for Speed 4 again, and we're gonna see. Again, I just really did not want to have an episode without us kind of going over some of these peace deals, because I felt like these peace deals were pretty big, and there's two pretty big ones. Venezuela losing half of its provinces was a big deal, and the Islamic State coming back in year 2165 is also kind of incredible, but in a kind of a dark sense. Not incredible, but in a dark way. It's very weird that they've made a comeback. I forgot that Cyprus was also under Saudi control. Completely forgot about that. Anyways, so let's go ahead while this is on in the background. I'm going to go ahead and check the ledger, countries. Maybe we'll check on development, stuff like that. So what do we have for development so far? China, clearly the #1 nation. That's why I think for me, China's in my top 5 strongest, powerful. I would say China could beat the USA if it was a land battle, but actually even naval battle would go to China because the USA is not very strong in terms of their fleets. Germany in 3rd place, India and Malaya. So this is an interesting category. Again, I've gone over how I was going to do the sort of victory screen, or I guess how to choose a victor of this campaign. Development is going to be a key category to win, especially because usually when you have control over development, you're going to have the force limit, the army force limit, and the naval force limit also under your belt, because usually development means that military development as well. Not all the time, but a little bit. So this is going to be a very, very telling category. So India, Malaya, just staying very, very quiet in that 5th place spot. I don't think they'll ever catch China, but I'm thinking for a second campaign, we're going to need to do subcontinents. We're going to need to do something like India and maybe something like Australia, kind of Southeast Asia and the Indian subcontinent. Maybe we do a Middle Eastern region. The Saudis, modern-day Iran, Pakistan, all the way to Pakistan and Egypt. We do subcontinents here. It's going to make it even harder for those that are choosing. But, just adding a few more subcontinents might make things a little bit more interesting, just because Malaya's doing good, but they'll never catch China, right? I don't think they'll ever catch China. So that's kind of the problem there. And then, I don't know. I think that North and South America seem to be okay. Actually, for Mexico's sake, we might just have a Latin American rather than South America and excluding Mexico, because I love that Mexico's trying still. I love that Mexico's still here trying their best. Anyways, let's go back to development here. Mexico in 6th, Brazil very close behind. Look how close that is now. Mexico, Brazil getting awfully close to each other in terms of development, and I'm sure that war is going to break out soon. Japan and then Great Britain actually awfully low. But again, a lot of Great Britain's power comes from their alliances, their colonies. They're not going to see this reflect in the development category, so that's interesting. And also, look at how far the Saudis have dropped. Technically, Russia is above the Saudis, so that's a big deal. Anyways, let's go ahead and go to the, what am I looking for? Army force limit. So technically the USA would win this category. Germany doing good, but they're nowhere near. They're rebuilding, though. Remember, last time we checked this, I think Germany was like all the way down to like 500,000, which was crazy. I'd never seen their army drop that low before, I don't think. India, close to 1 million. They really didn't lose at all anything with their war against Pakistan or the Saudis, which is smart. They did a lot of damage to the Saudis in turn. I think a lot of that had to do with Turkey. Turkey really did the heavy punches to the Saudis, and I think India rewarded them quite nicely with 4 provinces. 4 or was it 5? Could be 5. I'm not sure. Anyways, let's go ahead and check on naval. Actually, you guys offered a pretty interesting. Oh, wait, that doesn't matter. I was thinking Civ. You guys, European Union here. Some people talked about checking on some of the bottom nations, but that was for the Civ AI only series. I'm sorry. I'm totally mixing up series now. That's bad. That's how you know it's bad. Okay, so we have USA with the most naval force limit, not really using it, though, at the same time. Japan, Malaya, Mexico. I do underestimate the Mexican Navy quite a bit, especially because if that Mexican-Brazilian war ever breaks out, which I imagine that it will very soon, we are seeing these two nations at their most powerful right now, Mexico, Brazil. Now, who would Brazil call into the war? It'd practically be one-on-one. Practically. You can't really, Chile's too weak. I mean, Chile, what do they have, 55 stack? Not bad. If they have military access, they might be able to cause some issue. I'm so surprised that Paraguay has that big of a regimen as well, 50. So that's still 100 stack that they'd have to deal with. But Brazil just finished up a war with Venezuela. I'm not sure if they'd be down to fight off Mexico at the moment. Last time we checked on army sizes, Mexico had a significant advantage over the Brazilians, but it's not as significant. It's about another 100,000. So obviously with the Mexican alliances involved, it would probably go to Mexico. But we'll see. This is the time to strike. With Brazil only allied to, small nations in the Caribbean, this would be definitely the time to strike. Okay, so it's been a while. Let's go ahead and check on if any new wars have broken out. Maybe not, maybe so. Yeah, we've got Egypt versus Sudan. China back at war with, Mongolia. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, this doesn't really mean much, but why on earth did Germany join in on the side of Mongolia? Why? Independence. So Germany's now supporting the independence of the British West Indies. That's a big deal. That could be how we see that German-British war soon. So they dropped their alliance with China, and they grabbed with Mongolia for some reason, and that was, wow. I don't think Germany, there's no way. There's no way Germany's going to actually come and support this, right? Wow, China's going so aggressive right now. Unbelievably, we've yet to see China this aggressive in the campaign at all. In the past 150 years, China has been going to war, but they've just been, forcing these other nations to get to lose a lot of their strength. Let's go down to speed 3. But besides that's it. So this is pretty surprising. Obviously, Mongolia will probably not survive here. Mongolia is a pretty weak nation overall. They do have some nice development. Now, will they be able to annex completely? No, there's no way. Total war score would cost 306. They will gain some provinces here. Although, because Mongolia was able to call in Germany from Europe, that will make sure that war score stays nice and low. So Mongolia will not get destroyed from this campaign here, but I think we'll see more than likely a third of their provinces fall to China, I'm thinking. Netherlands still trying to grab away some provinces. Also, let's go and check Egypt. Egypt's dominating here. And this is actually going to really free up most of Eastern Africa. For the most part, the Saudis continue to get involved in Eastern African politics, and that was keeping nations like Egypt and Ethiopia from really growing. And Ethiopia is a really big player in terms of Africa. They have a really good chance of winning Africa in terms of the series. They have a chance. I mean, they're well developed. They've got a high force limit. Because the Saudis have been weakened slightly, this might be a big deal. Now, do the Saudis still have awesome alliances? Yes, they do. So that is one thing. But still, this is a good time to, while the Saudis are rebuilding, because I think they've lost their entire army. They had to have lost their entire army. So this is a good time to strike. So this is a good move for Egypt, especially going after a small nation like Sudan. They should definitely easily be able to take over these provinces, getting a bit more powerful, not too much more powerful, but every single province counts. It doesn't all balance, doesn't all equal the same, but yeah, no, every province does help, so we'll see. Germany rebuilding, continuing. As you can see, these one stacks of regiments being built clearly shows that they're trying to get to their force limit, and they're rebuilding. I'm assuming their manpower can handle it, I guess. Or that could be just in fear of the Chinese AI. Now, I know that Germany's not going to get involved in any battles. I don't think we're going to see even one battle here. I doubt that Russia would give them military access, and I don't think Germany's going to actually try to trek across the Middle East just to go fight a really powerful foe in China. But we'll see. Wait, Egypt's already done. Did they take over everything? No, they just went back over this province, which I think they had a core on before, or no? I thought they did. I thought they had land. I thought they controlled this land at some point, but maybe not. Maybe they lost their core. They could have lost it at some point. The Saudis could have forced them to revoke the core. But still, I mean, Egypt's gained at least one province. It's something, right? It is something. Brazil needs to get up an alliance soon. Now, who is allied to Brazil, or who likes Brazil? Great Britain would be an excellent alliance, because I think they're one of the only nations that would actually try to get involved in Latin America, and they'd probably send over troops, I'm thinking. We've seen Great Britain, again, push back Mexico because of Britain and their vassalization over the EU. So that would be an excellent alliance for them to get up. The problem is, why isn't it happening? They're on good terms with each other. They're on very good terms with each other. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. How much? China only has 2 war scores so far. Not by much. Like I said, oh wow, and that's already, most of Mongolia has been sieged out and occupied. And that's surprising, because that German AI is really keeping the Chinese war score down. They might not be able to take as much as they probably would like to, especially because these Mongolian provinces are really well developed. The AI, I think, has done a really excellent job they knew they can't really go to war with Russia or China, so I think they focused on development, and it looks like it has been working. somewhat. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen them in the top of categories. They're not, on the top of categories or anything like that, but still. Let's look at compared to some of these other Chinese provinces. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty high. Okay, there's a couple Chinese provinces that are like over 150 development, but still, that's pretty good for Mongolia, staying so quiet in this campaign. North Korea somehow still alive because of China's doing. Malaya still on really good terms with China, but that's one of those alliances. It's interesting to watch these alliances that kind of stand the test of time. We've seen a lot of alliances kind of come and go, but some of the alliances, like the Chinese-Malayan alliance, has not stopped, and that's interesting because you have an equal power at equal strength with the USA, who has not stopped their alliance with Canada. I thought that they maybe at some point would, and we might have seen a USA-Canadian war, but that never ended up happening, and I was sad because I thought that would happen. Obviously, that'd be one-sided, but it'd be exciting to see you guys in the comment section, because that is by far one of my favorite things about this series is the comment section. Man, you guys are so entertaining. I love reading your comments for this series because you guys get into it, and it's fun. Especially with some of these rivalries that are going on. Because like I said, the cool thing about EU4 is that there are these rivalries that build because nations are consistently going to war with each other. It's not like Civ 5 where a nation just gets completely wiped out in an AI-only battle. And, those nations, obviously, once a nation gets wiped out, they're never going to go to war with each other. We've seen, Germany go to war with Poland countless times now. So it's like constantly. And we've seen, a few times a small, a small sort of, what are those things called? Small skirmish between Britain and Germany, but not too much besides that. So it's just interesting to see because none of these nations are just going to get, boom, wiped off the face of the earth in an EU4 campaign. Oh, and clearly Germany's still dealing with rebels. How about in Finland, though? No, nothing in Finland. Turkey inside of German territory, but they're allied, so that doesn't mean anything. Let's see what we got. Nothing. We should probably go to speed 4. So over the break, I'll probably go... Oh, shoot. Well, it looks like we crashed. But over the break, I will probably go a few years into the future, and we'll see what wars break out, and we'll see exactly what the Mongolian results were. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.